Hey, Project Unfinisher. Tell your mom I said hi.
No.
Lefty, you couldn't finish a project if your life depended on it. Screw you, Lefty. Tell your mom to leave me alone. I'm the only one that can finish projects around here.
What is it? It's the
Nope,
unpainted fire dome?
not that either, Lefty. Why don't you throw in some smoked meat, Lefty? I'm gonna be in your workshop all night.
The unfinished wall? The unfinished ceiling? What project could it be? Is it the wall I was going to build for my wife? Is it the unfinished typewriter? Here. Oh no. There's so many unfinished projects! Where are you? Where are you, Shirty? Where are you? Oh no. Is this? No. No.
Getting warmer.
Hello and welcome back to Lefty's Workshop. This week, we're going to be finishing some projects that I have put off for a long time. Most notably, my Yankee vise here, which, as you'll notice, does not have a tag. We're going to make one. Machine tags. They're like the thing that makes a machine or a tool look really finished. It's kind of a lost art. You see a lot of people on the internet that like to restore machines, and then they just kind of like half-ass this. Kind of like me a few years ago with this thing. I restored the South Bend 13, and I kind of fixed this, but there's like beat marks on it, and it's kind of eh. Now, there are websites that you can go on, and you can make these. Well, you can send them a design, or you can even spend lots of money online and buy ones for, pretty common machines like South Bend lathes and such. But that costs like $50. Who the heck wants to do that? There must be a way to make these things. Over 100 years ago, people in factories were making machine tags, and it couldn't have been all that hard. So there must be a way to do it. Well, I was looking on the old YouTube, and I found a video that was... There's not a lot out there on how to do this. But I found one guy, I think his name was the Crafter, or the Craftman, and he taught me how to do this, and I have worked more on it, and I have kind of, I don't want to say perfected it, because it's certainly not a perfect art. I have a few examples of ones that I've made. I kind of designed this myself. It's the speed chart for the belts on the South Bend drill press, and this was missing on the South Bend drill press, and I made that. That one took a long time. Today's challenge, as you saw in the opening video, is my Yankee vise, which is obviously missing something that should go in these holes. And that something looks like this. Now, how do I know that? Well, I looked on the internet and it told me.
I found the pictures on eBay, and I put them into GIMP and modify them and use a lot of skills that I'm really not going to go into great detail on here, and made it. One thing you do want to make sure you do, though, is to make sure that when you design this, it is in mirror image. Otherwise, it won't work.
To do this, you're going to need some blue press and peel, which you can get on eBay. It's about $10 for 10 sheets, or, a buck a sheet. You're going to need a digital image in mirror of what you want to make. Now, you could make this image using something like Photoshop or GIMP, but I'm not going to get into all that technical stuff today. And you need this stuff. Ferric chloride copper etching solution. You can get it on Amazon, as you can see here. And it's a chemical. As it says, danger, poison, corrosive, or corrosive, as they say in Italy, maybe. And I can attest that this stuff is very corrosive. The first time I made a tag, I tried making it out of aluminum, and I waited an hour, and there was no more aluminum. So yeah, this only works on brass and stainless steel. At least that's what I have used. And the other thing you're gonna need is, for this particular one, we're gonna need some brass, which you can get at Hobby Lobby or someplace like that, like this. And that's really it. You also need a cup and some tape and stuff, but that's the extra stuff. And then you print these out on a laser printer. It has to be a laser printer. If you do it on your normal home printer, it won't work. And there are two sides of this press and peel. The shiny side is not what you print on. The matte side is what you print on. I always print out more of these than I need because they never turn out right the first time. And the other things we're going to make today is this for the shaper, and then this for the South Bend lathe. I figure that tag's a little worn. We'll make a nice new one.
After I cut out my brass on the bandsaw, then I sand it up just to rough it up a little bit. Sometimes these hobby store metal, they have a finish on them that you gotta get off. And also, having a rougher finish helps the acid work better. So to do this, you should use a laminator. It helps best, but I don't have a laminator, so we're going to use this.
All right, so the spouse is going to help us out today. We got that taped to there, and we got this cricket thing that I gave her crap for buying, but now I'm going to use, so I can't give her crap anymore.
The idea here is you need to heat up the press and peel to get it to release this paint-like material on the back of it onto the metal that you want to etch. And then that paint stops the acid from etching where you don't want it to etch.
See how it turned out. Oh. We're going to try it one more time. Hopefully it comes out nice and happy this time. We take this, we put it on the metal, we take the little iron thing, and we kind of just sit it on there. And move it around and burn my finger. Remember, this is just for entertainment purposes. Don't do as I do. You could hurt yourself. All right, let's find out if this worked. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Didn't need any paper towels, just put it right on the plastic. That's as good as it gets. So here are the 3 tags we're gonna make this week. We got the tag for the Yankee vise, the oil specification for the South Bend shaper, and the new change speeds for the South Bend lathe. Before these go and take their acid trip, we gotta touch them up a little bit. Wife's helping out a lot tonight. Take a little bit of nail polish and just go around the edges. And then these can be trimmed up later on the suit with a Dremel or the belt sander. I should probably explain the purpose of the tape. This really needs to be like suspended right on top of the acid. If it's not suspended, if it kind of just sits at the bottom, it doesn't work as well. So you just kind of put this in there. Make sure it's sitting there, and you can tell when it sits there. A little under it isn't bad, but it sits right on top. It sits there for an hour. We check on it and we see how it's working. Probably closer to about an hour and a half to 2 hours is best, because you want the etching to be deep. If you don't leave it in long enough and the etching isn't deep, which I'll show you later, it's really hard to paint it.
1 hour later.
All right, it's been in for an hour, so we're just going to look at it. See how it looks. So yeah, it's working. It's hard to tell on camera, but it's certainly not all that deep right now. So we're going to leave it in for a while longer.
30 minutes later.
All right, it's been time. Let's see what we got. All right, so take it up, and then I like to kind of take a pick here and see how you can hear the difference. Yep. I think that might be good. See? We'll wash it off and we'll show it to you. All right, so after a little bit of cleanup, this is what we have. Came out pretty good. Now what you do is you get the color of paint you want. This one's going to be red and this one's going to be black. And you just lightly spray paint over it and let it dry overnight. And when the paint dries, you just get yourself some 800 grit sandpaper and you polish off the paint off the higher spots. Which sometimes takes some time, but it will look great. See? That's the idea. Obviously it needs to be trimmed a little bit more and cleaned up, but that's the basic idea. You can read it. Shiny. It looks good. And look at that. Now I know it has a few imperfections. I know it's not perfect, but to me it's better than not having one at all. And realistically, I think it looks fine. I think the real only reason I see a lot of the imperfections is that I know that I made them. But yeah, it looks great. Now we're just going to bend it into shape and put it on the vise. And finally, after a year and a half, the Yankee vise is finished.
Don't get too big for your britches there, Lefty. You guys still got like 25 more unfinished projects.
All right, well, here's everything all finished up. The lathe tag I need to do some more work on, but everything else is looking great. Quite proud of this. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you next week.